Talk to me, Julia. So your question is, you could just recap and tell us what your question is. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So we're actually closing on a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home end of May. And we wanted to see where we needed to start in terms of the formula and all that, because knowing the Airbnb accelerator, it talks about, if you do not have a property, this is what you need to do with all the platforms that are available to you in terms of like the tenant days and all that. But since we're looking at it from a different angle, and we're looking at using, this home, how and where would we start?
All right, so that's a great question. I think it's a really good question, and so before we answer it though, I have a question for you. You said you're closing. When are you hoping to close?
May 30th.
May 30th. And you're in Nashville, you said, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the place. Is it a single family? Is it a duplex?
Yes, sir. It's a single family home.
How many bedrooms?
It's 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
And it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
3 beds, 2.5 baths. So if it's 3 beds, 2.5 baths, then what? How many master baths are there?
So there's 2 master baths.
2 master baths? Okay. So
yeah, and
how is that though? If you got 3, so the 3rd bedroom, it must be a shared bath. Is that second bath?
It's like a Jack and Jill.
It's like a Jack and Jill. Okay, cool. So that's good. You could do that too. So great. So Nashville. So you brought this as a rental property. I mean, as an investment property, right? 2 beds, 3 beds, 2.5 baths. Did you determine how much you could get per night per room there?
Not yet.
Uh-oh. Come on.
Not yet. But I know how the formula works.
I know, but you have to at least have an idea as to how much you could get per night.
We were thinking anywhere from like 90 to 100.
And is that per room or is that for the whole house? I'm assuming
that's per room.
That's per room. All right. So it's per room. So if it's per room, this is what I'm going to show you. So what we can do is we're going to, so if you can get, you said 90? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. So 90. Yes. So if 90 is the magic number for you, $90 per night is okay. And that's for the suite, right? Or is that for the private rooms without the bath?
The suite could go like for 110, 120.
Okay.
And then the ancillary bedrooms could be like 90.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little high because I typically on the suites, we typically go about $15 to $20 per night more on the suite versus the private room. So if you're at 90, you might be being a little bit aggressive with the 120 on the suite, right? So what we'll do is I'm just gonna and you can always play with that because remember you're the one in control of those numbers. But you could put it at $1 million a night. That what's going to determine what's going to determine what you can get is what the market will bear, right? So don't listen to coach, right? Don't listen to coach as far as that's concerned. Once you got the place, like you got it and you could play with numbers. But if you know that you could get on average $90 a night and you want to push it up, higher, you see that nothing's coming in, it's supply and demand, then you got the ability to start knocking numbers down. And you actually have an advantage over most people in the sense that, well, yes and no. In a sense that did you pay cash or you have a mortgage?
It's mortgage.
Okay, so you have a mortgage. So you don't necessarily have an advantage in a sense. I was going to say you're not paying rent, you are paying a mortgage, but it's your place and you can mess around and make adjustments and things as well. So, I won't go into that. Let me just answer your question first. I'm going to show you. Let me show you the calculator, what the next steps are. These are the next steps. I don't know if you can see my screen, but if you can't, I'm going to show it to you. what I'd like to do, if you can't see it, yeah. So I'm going to show it to you because I'm going to share my screen here too, because I'm sharing it on. All right, so you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So if you can see my screen, I'm going to go through the numbers real quick with you because this is really like, and this is going to determine what the next steps will be for you. So the next steps right now is just if you already know that place is about to close, like how many days away from closing are
you? 30.
30 days. All right.
30 days.
All
yeah,
right. So let me answer your question first, and then what I'll do is I'll show you how much money you're going to end up making on this place too, if you don't already know. Right. So the next steps will be, if you're 30 days from closing, if you're pretty confident you're going to close, like, if it's normal traditional bank funding and you've already gotten your requirements, have them come up. Mm-hmm. If you already got your requirements done, then you're going to close. If you haven't gotten your inspection completed, if you haven't fulfilled all the bank's, the bank stipulations. So I don't know if you have all the stipulations required done. If you have all the stipulations required done, then now it's just a waiting game, right? And and so with that, what you have the ability to do, this is what I would do, is I would go ahead and list the place. Go ahead and list it, right? But you want to block off your calendar, right? So list the place, but block off your calendar for the next 60 days. Even though you think you might close, have a seat, brother. Even though you think you might close here. Here, you on today. All right. So so you may close. So even though you may close in 30 days, then what's going to happen is you're going to want to have the calendar blocked off. And then if you do close in that time period, then what you have the ability to do is open up the calendar for the days. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that will be the first steps. You do not need to have the place ready in order for you to get it listed. All right. So you don't have to have the place ready in order for you. You could. Yeah. Oh, is it on you? Okay. Yeah. So you don't need to have the place ready in order for you to list it. Okay.
Okay.
Right. And then what should happen though is if you do get it listed, and I would not just list it on Airbnb, but first and foremost, get it listed on Airbnb, right? Just get it listed on Airbnb. That's where you would go. But later on, we'll talk about the other stuff. Then what's going to happen is once you get it listed, you're going to be getting inquiries, right? You'll be getting, while you're waiting for your closing to happen, you're satisfying all the bank stipulations, you're going to be getting inquiries. You should be getting a bunch of inquiries if you optimize the listing properly, right? So from an optimization perspective, you could go into the academy and look at how if you want some water. No. All right. If you could go into the academy and then, or jump on, one of the, you should be, in fact, tonight, because aren't you guys members of the academy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. It's been so long, right? I'm sorry. It's been so long. So you should be in the challenge tonight. Like, you're an academy member. It's free for you because you're in the academy. Come in because I'm going over optimization tonight that you need to be aware of.
Okay.
All right. You need to be aware of the stuff that I'm sharing tonight. Tonight is the perfect night for you guys, right? But you want to get your listing optimized. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have people inquiring. You're going to have people booking. By the time you close, you should have a bunch of bookings, people that are ready, that have already paid. And now they're just waiting for you to open the door so Airbnb can start making those electronic funds transfers into your account.
Yes, sir.
Does that help?
Yeah.
All right.
It does.
So before I introduce my special guest today, I'm going to I want to show you how much money you're gonna make on that. All right. So let me show you that real quick.
Yeah.
So you said $90 times 2 times, well, all right, we'll go with 2. Let's just go with 2. And then we also said plus you had 110. We're gonna go with 110, all right? Instead of the 120. Right? And then you can play with those numbers on your own. But so that's $290 per night. Okay, so $290 per night you're gonna be generating. However, how many nights? We're gonna multiply that times 30 nights per month, and at 30 nights per month, that is $8,700 that you're gonna be bringing in at 100% occupancy. However, we know already that there's only one thing in life that's perfect. There's only one. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, he lives up above.
He lives. He's with us. He's there. He's here. But yeah, Jesus Christ Himself. He's the only thing that's perfect. But business, when it comes to business, we are not going to be running our business based on like if in order for this to work, everything's got to go perfect. Especially like I don't care what business you're in, but especially in real estate, because we already know that in real estate, everything won't go perfect. There's always going to be something going on, right? So what we do on average is basically we know that on average, when you optimize properly, you're going to be generating about your listings. You should be booking at roughly around 75, 80, 85% occupancy. Okay, that's how you should be operating. So what we're going to do is I'm going to knock this $8,700 down to, instead of 100% occupancy, I'm going to knock it down to 80% occupancy. So we'll multiply this times 0.8. And it says $6,960. How much is your mortgage going to be?
How much is it?
32.
32?
32. And is that PITI?
It is.
All right, cool. All right, so we're going to knock that. We're going to subtract the 3,200, and she said yeah, I did. So I didn't. Yeah. So thank you. I like multiplication. I don't like subtraction. So
I agree.
Yeah. I like multiplication. You know, we all about, what are we all about? We're all about exponential, not right. Exponential, not incremental.
Growth.
There you go. All right. So it shows that after your taxes, insurance, principal, interest, everything is paid, you're going to be keeping in your pocket about $3,760. When you multiply that times 12, that's per month. When you multiply that times 12, it's about $45,000 a year in profit. Now, my question to you is, if you were renting this place, how much could you get?
If we were renting?
Yeah.
Long term.
If we thought about that.
Well, most likely you'd probably be getting about $3,000 at most, maybe less. I'm pretty confident you ain't getting $7,000 a month over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. No.
Yeah, and it might be less than $3,000, but in any case, I just wanted to show you how much money you're going to be making by doing it the way you're doing it. And never tell people to go out and buy places, right? So you went and did that one on your own, and God bless you. Congratulations, because now you are a new homeowner, and you know you were able to accomplish that. So the key is, how do you make the most of it? And right now, the way you make the most of it is you're going to need to just do what I just showed you. Okay, get the thing listed. Start before it even is closed. You get it optimized. You'll be getting a bunch of listings, a bunch of inquiries, and making a bunch of money. Even like so when you close, you'll see all the money stacking up in your Airbnb account, all the bookings, and then you're going to be really excited to once you close or start preparing for closing. Making sure you got it all furnished and that type of stuff. But we'll guide you through that part as well. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Was that helpful?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll keep you updated.
Keep me posted. I'll see you tonight in the challenge. You're welcome, bro. Don't be getting lost no more, okay?
No, we're not.
Getting lost on me. All right. So listen, what I'm gonna do right now is I am going to introduce to you a friend of mine. And I think for all of you, so let me take my screen share. I'm gonna stop share. Right. And let me make sure. Can everyone see my friend here? Let's see.
How you guys doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna introduce you. He didn't even know we were gonna be talking today. He just he was just over here to eat some food and chill. So but we're gonna be chatting just for a few minutes and I'll tell you who he is first of all. My friend here, his name is Sang. So Sang is a realtor. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor, and one of the other reasons why Sang is over here is because he got some places for me here in Florida. So he also is the one that's been responsible for us picking up multiple listings here in the Sarasota area, and he got some more for me. So what we're gonna do just a few minutes, because this part is, and let me take Julia Martin off the spotlight. So what the reason why I think like this is going to be very helpful for you all is because I can tell you when it comes to getting Airbnb listings, you've heard me say it many times in our trainings, that when you find a good agent, a good property management company, a good realtor, right? When you find one of them that's really good, they are worth their weight in gold. You'll never have to do another 10 a day again, right? Why? Because Sang is like Sang, what they're going to be is they're going to have great connections to people who trust them, people who are looking for them to come to the table, bring someone to the table that is responsible, someone that is going to take care of their place, and someone they don't have to worry about is going to flip their life upside down, right? Just to rent their place, right? So, Sang, welcome, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so Sang, if you would tell us, we got a bunch of students here today,
Okay.
right? And they're from all over right now. I think the country. I don't think there's anyone in a different part of the world at the moment, but we will be. In fact, if this was 3 to 4 days from now, then one of the things that you guys would be seeing is you'd be seeing us in Jamaica, because I got a couple students. We're flying out to Jamaica on Friday, so we'll be out there. But we'll talk about that later. Now, but Sang, could you just talk a little bit about, like, when someone is looking to establish a great relationship, like even how we connected, right? If someone's looking to establish a great relationship with a realtor or an agent, what would they do?
Well,
to pick up their first Airbnb. Can you guys hear him okay?
Can you hear me?
Hold on, we're gonna do the wireless thing.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us okay? Can you hear Sang all right?
Yeah, we can hear you, Coach.
Okay.
Awesome.
We heard you better, I think, like when you had your microphone connected. We heard him better too, I think.
Oh, you did? So you want me to take this thing off
Yeah,
again?
try it again.
All right, let's give it another shot. How about now?
Let's do a mic check.
Mic check.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, he's good.
Awesome. All right, so go ahead, Sang. Do your thing.
So for us to start a connection, the first is to build a trust, like in every relationship. Trust is the main key, and then how you present yourself, and then pretty much what I look into a client is what are their needs, their true needs. That way I can find the solution to help them. That's what I've been going by, and it seems to work. So, and I stick by that.
So you're looking for the needs, and hold on, I'm trying to get out of this share screen real quick. Hold on for this other thing.
Hit escape.
It shouldn't be. Yeah, it's just a share screen on my thing here. So Hold on. So we're not trying to show.
Well, we can see you guys perfectly.
Yeah, I know,
fine.
because you guys are on Zoom, but I'm also on I'm also doing a live on YouTube right now. So I thought I had a share screen going, and I don't really want to share screen going. So all right, maybe I don't. All right, so cool. All right, so did you hear what Sang said? Sang said that it's about establishing a relationship, right? He's looking for the ability to establish a relationship with someone who he can trust, right? And what do you, when you say someone you can trust, what do you look for?
Reliability. Pretty much whatever they say they'll do it, and then you'll see the flaws too. There's a lot of customers you deal with that, it's just they just want your time, but then they don't want to give you their time. They just want to get some out of you. Yeah, there's a lot of those too.
You can smell those a mile away, huh? Yeah.
You're getting used to them. So.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all recognize one of the key things that he just said. There's a thing that he just said, and he said time. Right? He said they just want to steal your time. They want a bunch of information. Right?
Yeah.
They want someone to kind of just coddle them, and they just want to waste time. And one of the things that I said about Sang was that he's also an entrepreneur. He's not just the realtor, although that's one of the things he does, but his family has had multiple businesses. Correct. Right? And they still do. And real estate is also just one of the other things that he does. So he understands he's got a family, right? And Saying, I don't know if you want to, like, when you talk about time, why was time, like, because you mentioned time, why is time so important to you?
Time you can never get back. Time you can never get back, but money you could trade for time. Yes.
Time you can never get back. Have y'all heard that somewhere before? Time you can never get back, but money you could trade for time. Right? So one of the things you've heard me say at least once is that, yeah, we made, a couple $1 million or so last year, and I am so glad that I did not get to keep all that money. And and the reason why is because of what he just said. Because if I got to keep all that money, that means I would have had to trade all my time to keep all that money. I don't want all that money. I want to make sure the people, like Saying, I want to make sure you guys, my students, like different people, my team, they're getting some of that money too. Because if they're getting it, then there's a lot of stuff I do not have to do.
Correct.
And that's where we're able to get like the systems rolling, right? So now you're duplicating yourself. So Saying, when you talked about a couple things you talked about was trust, right? Someone that is going to do what they say you're going to do. What about, I'm going to flip it though. What about, like, what do you think people are looking for with you?
They're looking for information.
Well, but I mean, people that are really looking to work with you, that are serious, like someone like me.
If they're looking to work with me, pretty much I ask 3 simple questions. It's like, what is your need? What is your time frame? And how much you're looking to spend, And then after, if they can answer those 3 questions, then I dig a little deeper. So it's the game of narrowing down, so you don't have to do a lot of work. You ask enough questions to know what they want.
So if someone, so everyone that's listening, everyone's listening here, they desire to have a great relationship with a realtor, and they're not looking to buy. We're not talking about buying for now.
Yeah.
We're just talking about leasing, right? And so for someone that's looking to establish a great relationship with someone, with a realtor who like you, like someone that's just a go-getter, that ain't about playing games, that, you know, is very conscious of time and always is also looking for win-win relationship.
Correct.
What kinds of things would they what should they be saying, and what should they be saying to a realtor, and what should they be looking for in a realtor in order for them to find and establish a great relationship, and in order for them to weed out the ones that are, because I've seen a lot of realtors, and like they're just the same thing. They're just a lot of talk.
Okay, yeah. You see a lot of realtor that does like buy, or just get this without understanding what you want, what you need. That's a no. You know, like you have to pretty much have lunch with the person, talk to them, see how they act, and how they feel. Are they trustworthy, and then you get the vibe. You get the vibe when you speak to them. And then but most realtor, they just want the money, and they're out, and then you call them, never pick up. You know, once they close the deal, that's it.
That.
Yeah, so I'm all about repeating customers, you know, building a relationship. That's why over the past 4 or 5 years, I haven't advertised. I still don't. I just word of mouth advertisement, and that's the best. Yeah.
You heard that, right? He said the word of mouth is the best. Listen, I'm going to tell you, the places that we picked up from saying, like, you would think that these people are like his best friend in the world. Like, whatever he pretty much tells them to do, they're going to do. They trust him, right? And like you said, he doesn't have to advertise. It's about the relationship. Remember what I told you? I teach this and I teach this. The reason why people give you these places is not because you're going to be the best business person in the world. It ain't because you got the greatest credit in the world. It's not because you got the most money in the world. It's going to be because what?
They trust you.
They trust you, and they what? Like you. Right? That's it. So, like, and I'm telling you, all I told Sang today, just so y'all know, this is very raw. All I told him is, come on over. We're going to have something to eat. Like, he didn't even know he was going to be getting on. So he got, like, it's none of this stuff. So you guys are just getting this stuff raw. So my question, like, I'm going to open up for you guys to ask some questions, because you should be looking to establish great relationships with someone in your area that is a go-getter. That's an A player. Like, I ain't talking about your CB, your B, C, D players. Like, A players, they know how to get it done. They don't have to advertise. Why? Because they got great relationships already. In great relationships, you don't have to work. Like, we don't have to work for this stuff. I just, so
yeah, we get phone calls every week. It's, still to this day. Just a few, about 4 or 5, and then maybe a couple of them close. So as long as you get 3, 4 deals closed per month, man, we're straight.
Right, and that comes from what?
From trust and relationships.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Building relationships.
So, now let me ask you, like, how did you? Because how long have you been doing real estate in this?
About since 2015.
2015.
About 8, 9 years. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen, like, your perspective on the market when it comes to short-term rentals? How has that changed over the last few years?
It's taken over since because we'd be renting Airbnbs and VRBOs, Evo, Evolve. Yeah, it's just you get better service than the hotel, because you get a kitchen. You put like 2, 3 families and you split the cost. It's actually cheaper than staying at a hotel. And then you get the house, like the house in another area.
So and it's pretty cool too, because like when you have rentals, in many cases, like, it's funny. Was it an Airbnb commercial? I saw a commercial that said something about Airbnb. I think it might have been a YouTube video, and they were saying how they were like, we're getting ready to go out to Jamaica. Why? Because we just picked up a bunch of places in Jamaica. So it's like we get to go and hang out at our places in Jamaica.
Yeah,
Who does that with your rental property, with traditional rentals? Nobody does that with traditional rentals, right? We could say to our family, hey, we're going to go we're gonna go stay by the beach this week because we have Airbnbs down there. Like, who does that? Like that's one thing. So you see a lot of that happening here, right? The places, a couple places that we got from you, they're literally like less than about a mile and a half from one of the most beautiful beaches in the country.
Correct.
Right?
So that's the key.
So that's the key. And so how have you seen the like, are you seeing that the Airbnb market here in this area has grown? Like, do you think it's tapped out? Do you think it's oversaturated?
It's never tapped out. There's always new ones coming and no one's closing. So it's always coming and going. It's never maxed out. There's always people coming down too. So it's a vacation town, you know.
So now you heard him say it's a vacation town because, you know, for us though, like that's not our big deal. Like, it's nice when the vacationers come, but for us, if it's a vacation town, then there's a lot of places that have to take care of these vacationers. You got restaurants, you got hospitals, you got convention centers, you got beaches, you got universities. Like, there's a lot of there's stadiums, and so there's a lot of things. And guess what? The people, in order to run those operations, have to have people who are doing what? Who are working those facilities. And all the people that are working those facilities to take care of all these vacationers are not necessarily people that are local. Many of them are flying in on contract for this weekend, that weekend, this month, this week. And those are the people who we cater to. Like, we will still host vacationers, but it's the business travelers. It's the business travelers. So with that, what I'm going to do is this. I want to open up so you guys can ask some of the questions, because I'm not going to keep saying forever, but I know there's some questions that you guys may want to have. And I'm getting, like, when I'm done with him, and when you guys are done, we're going to go down and have some food. So we're going to just talk and just hang out and wrap up a couple of these deals that we got going on. So for me, this is really not for me. This is really for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the spotlight. There's a lot of y'all here. And what we'll do is I'll give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions about establishing relationships and anything you want to ask Sang or me, doesn't matter. Anything. Don't be shy, because these opportunities aren't going to happen every day. But you'll be getting more and more people. Go ahead, raise your hand. I see you, Denise. Talk to me, sister.
Hi there. Thank you for the opportunity again to ask questions. Let me just make sure I turn on my video.
Awesome.
So my question is related to international Airbnb, or acquiring properties internationally, specifically Mexico. I have a potential investment that I'm looking at in Mexico. And right now the property managers there are going to, they're obviously going to offer their own services, right? But I'm just wondering, how easy is it to have an Airbnb somewhere like Mexico when I live in Florida, and having those connections where you can trust, you can meet trusted property managers and cleaners, etc. Do you have any experience in that?
I got experience in it, but I don't know. Is this for him?
I never dealt with Mexico.
Either or.
All right. He said he doesn't do automation like that. That's why I'm getting all these places. He just said to me the other day, he's like, Jim, like, you can have this place, man. I'm not into you guys got this thing fully automated. That's what it's about. It's about the automation. And automation, remember, is not just technology. Automation is not just people. Automation is not just money. Automation is a combination of all those things working together, right? So when you have people, if you're talking about Mexico and you're looking at having a place down in Mexico, the first thing first, you got to have somebody down there that has the ability to oversee your stuff. Someone that, the key word that he
You
mentioned,
trust.
that you trust. If you don't trust them, then like all bets are off.
Mhm.
And I'll give you a great example. One of our students, Sydney, she was living here in Tampa, and she had a place. Her place was, when she was here in Tampa, her place was operating at like 95% occupancy. She moved back to New York, Western New York, because her grandma fell ill and she wanted to be there for grandma. And so she hired a cleaner and she left. All of a sudden, she went from being a super host with 95+% occupancy to, not just a cleaner, but yeah, just so it's a cleaner. And the cleaner was kind of overseeing it for her. So she went from 95%, yes, honey. So 95% occupancy to now her occupancy will drop to like 70, 60, 50%. And I'm talking literally in weeks, just a few weeks. She couldn't figure it out. She was getting horrible reviews. Couldn't figure it out because the cleaner said everything was fine. Well, then my son, Chris, said, you know what? I'm going to go check out your place because this don't make no sense. He went over. He checked out the place. It was a disaster. A disaster. You had guests in there who were smoking, drinking. They were making all the other guests uncomfortable. They were acting like this place was theirs. My son was like, you gotta go. You gotta go. So we cleared it out. Then what he had to do is do a whole revamp of the place. Like he didn't have to totally redo it, but he revamped it. Like he added some new amenities to it to freshen it up. And then if you guys, by the way, if you're not talking, could you just turn your mics off because you got background noise? And I think that's my brother, Tony Smith. Tony, I already muted you, brother. But anyway, like you're gonna, like he freshened it up and then we put it back up on, we opened up the listing, took some new pictures, freshened up. She went from 50, 60% back up to 85, 90+%. Her stuff is booked constantly now, nonstop. So it's got to be about someone that you trust first and foremost. Like if you don't have a team, and that's the reason why we have teams in these locations that we have. How do you think I'm able to do this stuff, Denise? Like we got 100+ listings all over the country. Now we're in Jamaica. I haven't been, like, you know when the last time I've been to one of my listings? I don't even know. Right? It's got to be about that part. And then the automation, it starts with that. So you got to have someone that you trust that can oversee, that can clean properly. And then you got to have others who you can trust, who can get your places set up, right? That where you don't have to be the one doing all that stuff. Someone else that you trust that knows how to help you with optimization, right? Someone else who you could trust that also has the ability to maybe, you might even get to this point where I am and all my advanced level students are, advanced level students, like my Airbnb students, where they don't even deal with guests. Like I don't have any conversation with guests because once you get to 5, 6, you get to maybe 10, 12 listings, dealing with guests is a full-time job. It's great because it's not geographically restricting where you still have geographic freedom where you could travel all over the world and just communicate with guests, right? But it's something you got to do a lot because you're getting a lot of inquiries, you're getting a lot of bookings, you got to manage that. At some point, if you don't get that part under control, then you're still going to have like another job in a sense. You're going to be making a lot more money with your thumbs. That's it. And you can do it anywhere in the world, but you also want to have some peace too, right? Remember, I ain't trying to keep all that money, and neither should you. Like, break some of that off and bless somebody. And that's how my advanced level students do it, because my teams do the same thing for my advanced level students too. So that's how if you're gonna do something like that in Mexico, first and foremost, you got to make sure you find someone you trust. If you can't do that, it don't matter if it's in formula, none of that stuff, because it ain't gonna work. Very long answer to your short question. Hopefully it was helpful. Did it?
It was, thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Go ahead, Charisma. And great question, Denise. Great question. What you got, sister?
Question. So, like standpoint, Jim, like,
You're breaking up really, really bad.
Right?
You're breaking up really bad.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might just have to slow down when you
our-
talk.
from-
But go ahead.
Okay. From our standpoint, and going into a new realtor who doesn't know much about this, what does that conversation look like from ours? Like, how did you get living, right? What does that conversation look like for, if you don't know anyone that's a realtor, I guess?
It's basically, who do you know in the community that can refer you a good. It's all about connection, So it's if you're new to the community, it's best just to ask your neighbor or your friends or somebody's your family that's close. Who did they use, So because when you pick one off the streets, it's a hit or miss type of deal. But referral, like I said, referral is the best. Is the best advertisement.
So let me give you a little insight too, Charisma, because I didn't know Sang, and I didn't call Sang myself, and Sang didn't know me, and he didn't call me. The way it happened was, like, when we moved from Venice, Florida, up to Sarasota, Bradenton area, there was my daughter connected me with a realtor, and the realtor, there was this place. Actually, she connected me to the place. It wasn't a realtor. She said, "Dad, I think you might like this place. $1 million house on the water, beautiful home." And I'm like, "Okay, let me check it out." So we checked it out. The realtor that showed us the place, her name is Tracy, and like we had to go through some stuff to get this place, right? This place is in a very, very exclusive community. As I said, all multi-million-dollar places here on the water, and so I established a relationship with Tracy because she had to make sure, like, as I was doing everything that I needed to do, like all the background checks and making sure you had all the money and all of that stuff. I established myself with her as someone she could trust. So we got the place, and then I said to her, because this was already, like, before we even closed, it was already in my head now. Like, I was like, okay, she's gonna be someone that I'm gonna work with to get me a bunch of places in the area, because I had already gone through and established my trust with her. Well, first place that she got us, that she referred us to, was a place she connected with Sang. So I don't know did you know Tracy?
No, I didn't.
So
I was just a listing agent.
So he was just a listing agent.
Mhm.
And so the realtor connected with him. We went out to look at the place. And normally I don't go out to look at places, but I did this mainly because it's only like 10 minutes away from where I live. And then also I know that I was looking for someone in the area that I wanted to establish a great relationship with. And Tracy was just a little bit slow. I might have to have her on a session too, because she was just a little bit slow getting some stuff. Whereas, like, when I went to see that place out there that we picked up in Palmetto, beautiful house, brand new. We were the first people that ever live in it, right? So beautiful place. Sang said, "This is what it's gonna take." Boom, 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 boom. We did it. In fact, I was like, you know what? The numbers are still a little bit, which was true. It didn't fit formula. So I'm like, the numbers are just a little bit out of whack for me. Is there any room? And he's like, yeah, like, what are you thinking? And then we made a little compromise. I think we knocked off like $150 or something.
Yeah.
And then it worked, right? Brand new. I think it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 baths, is it? Or
3 bath.
3 bath, 4-bedroom, 3 bath, brand new community. All the houses in there are brand new. And so, but during that conversation, after I met Sang, because I didn't meet him there, Tracy showed me. And then when we went back to sign the lease or to go do a final walkthrough, like Tracy got out in the middle, and then it was just Sang and I negotiating the lease.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on that, he got an opportunity to see how I move. I got a chance to see how he moves, and everything went smoothly. And then we met at the place, and when we met at the place, we started talking. I told him, I'm looking for more places. What you got? Right? And then he's like, I got like 3 or 4 more if you serious. I'm like, what you waiting for? He's like, well, I didn't want to say nothing too soon because I'm like, bro, don't be holding back on me. So, and then, he showed us a few more places. Boom, we locked up a bunch of those. And then, and then the rest is history. We continue to grow. So that's just, I just kind of walked you down the road of how that happened. But as he said, it's about relationship. You may not be picking up anything, but you may be fresh, right? You may have someone in your circle
Mm-hmm.
who in your area that's in your area or one of the areas who has already done something and established a relationship with a great realtor already, and they could transfer that trust over to you.
Correct.
As long as you don't mess it up. Right? You can't come wasting people's time. You can't come acting like you don't know what you're talking about. You can't come like
you don't know what you want. You gotta know what you want.
Yeah.
That's the main key.
Know what you want. So that trust will transfer over. Now, the same way the trust that he has with us that we establish transfers over to his seller or his landlord, his owner. It transfers over. Like, I don't have to go through all these
20
hoops
hoops,
anymore. Yeah. Like, I don't have to do background checks and all this stuff. Why? Because we've already done it. And he vouches for us.
Correct. That saves you like 300-400 every property.
Oh, and by the way, here's the thing I'm gonna tell y'all. I don't know if you're okay with this. Make sure you take care of your people, right? Because one of the things I said was, all right, I know Sang makes some money off of referring stuff. Like, once we close, he makes some money. But bro, I want you to make a little bit more money. So I sent them a text and said, hey, I'm gonna make sure I pay you X amount of dollars in addition to what you're already making when every place we get. Why? Because he's worth it. He deserves it. He's saving me a lot of time and headache. And like, take care of him. Everybody gotta eat. It's win-win. Remember, we don't do anything that's not win-win. We ain't gonna be trying to take advantage of people, and we ain't gonna let people take advantage of us. So, did that answer your question, Charisma?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the breakdown. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think we got maybe 1 or 2 more. So I think we got Karen. So Karen, come on and join us, sister.
Hi, good afternoon.
Awesome. Good afternoon.
You addressed what I was going to ask a little bit in what you just said. In speaking to realtors, a lot of them get commission from sales and they're not interested in anything else. And do they get commission from renting out a place as well? Or how does that work? Kane, what was it that motivated you? Okay.
Rentals. Oh yeah, let me explain. Rentals is, as long as you're the listing agent, then you get it. Depends on what you negotiate with the pretty much the landlord. So normally I get half a month, and then whatever amount of percent, 5 to 10, depending on how I negotiate with the landlord. And but normally when you refer, you take somebody there, you get like 100, 200. So that's why a lot of realtors, they really don't want to waste their time taking people around for a couple $100, you know.
Yep.
So most of the time, if you're looking for rentals, look straight for the listing agent, call them directly and deal with them directly is better. Because you have the middle guy working for 100, 200, he's not gonna do a good job.
And one of the things you heard him say, Karen, was that, you know, all the running around, like, he doesn't have to run around with me,
Yeah,
right? He doesn't like.
I give him the code.
He gives me the code, and then, and in some cases, like we're going to be getting to a place at some point where he's just gonna like, just send me the pictures, bro.
Mhm.
Like, send me the pictures. Let me see the numbers. I'm good. Like, let's just lock it up.
Mhm.
Like, that's where I'm looking, because I personally, I am not really interested in driving around looking at places.
Looking for square feet and how many bedrooms.
No,
Yeah, as
I'm
long as the
not.
number makes sense. Yeah.
That's just a waste of my time, me
Mhm.
doing all that, right? So, but which, if you don't have those kinds of relationships, then you're gonna have to spend the time. Right?
But it's always good to spend the time if you're new to learn how it works.
100%.
Yeah, it's always good.
100%. Yeah, make sure you, like, if you're new, like, I'm not saying do it just once, do it 10 times.
Yeah, until you really understands.
Yeah, make sure you know this stuff like the back of your hand. Remember, like, I bought and sold over 700 properties in my life as an investor. So, like, this stuff is second nature to me. So it's a bit different. However, just like I talked about transferring the trust, that took a lot of time for someone else to build. And if you have that relationship, it transfers over to you. Well, same thing with the knowledge. Like, you don't have to spend 30 years, or you don't have to spend or go through 700 places in order to get the knowledge and experience. Why? Because some of that for me is going to transfer over to you, because I'm going to help you out with that stuff, right? And my team does that as well. So that's the power of relationships. That's the key, because who said it earlier? I think it was oh man, who was it that said it earlier? They said, well, they agreed with me that we ain't into subtraction, plus and subtraction, adding and subtraction. We're into multiplication. Right? Julia said that earlier, right? It's about exponential growth, not incremental. And how do you, one of the things we talked about, like the power, this is one of the key, the 3 C's, one of the 3 C's, which is the key to exponential growth, is strategic, what? Strategic collaborations. Come on now. Collaborations. That's the key. You got to have great collaborations, strategic collaborations. When you have that, you're going to accelerate your growth. There are things you don't need to know. There are things that would take, that he spent 15 years building great relationships, or 10, 15. He spent 10 years, 8 years, 8, 9 years building great relationships. I ain't trying to spend 8, 9 years building those relationships with the people he already built. Mm-hmm. I just need to build the one with him, and then boom, it accelerates because I just transferred all that to me. Mm-hmm. Now I can just hang out and do this with y'all, and hang out, and we go and eat some food after we're done. I can go to Jamaica in a couple of days, right, with Diamond and Andrea, and we do some things out there. We got people that we're going to be meeting out there too that did the same thing for us out there, right? So when you think about your listing, like some of you who already are working closely with my success teams, with our lead managers, where guess what? These are guys that already have relationships established too in their areas. Like, you could go out and reinvent the wheel if you want, right? Some of you, or you could just try and do it in your own neighborhoods too, right? If we're not established in those areas, you could do that. It's just going to take longer. It's going to take longer. But if you are working with those lead managers, remember, I spent a lot of time with them, a lot of relationships that they already established, and we've helped them establish. It's going to save you a ton of time. So the strategic collaborations are important. Know what their desire is? For you guys to not have to be thinking about places, and all you thinking about is just adding more and more and more. Right? That's it. If you're adding more and more, then your cash flow is going to grow. And if you're doing it right with automation, your time is going to grow too. Because the more money you got, then the more systems you can put in place to make sure you ain't got to do nothing, or almost nothing. Not nothing. I won't say nothing.
You have to oversee it.
Yeah, just oversee it.
Okay.
That was a
Are there
great
any
question.
Key things we can say to get realtors to kind of be more inclined to deal with us, especially if you're new.
It's not that, it's about the trade-off, pretty much. The value that you give, the value that they give, it has to equal or almost be equivalent for the time to be traded, you know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but
Don't waste it. Got it.
Yeah.
Don't waste their time.
yeah, don't waste, because you waste it one time, twice, and then they won't even talk to you the third time. Yeah.
And remember how we teach inside of Jumpstart, we teach inside of Accelerator, we teach how to establish the win-win relationship, how to establish rapport. The way you establish rapport is, first of all, you got to first recognize what your win is.
Mhm.
Once you already recognize what your win is, then just tuck that in your back pocket.
Mhm.
Like, you can't be talking about your win no more. The only thing that you need to be focused on is their win. Understanding what it is that you could satisfy as far as what their win is, what it is that they desire. When you can do that, and you're not compromising your win, number one, they're going to recognize that you care about them. They're going to recognize that it ain't just all about you. And then they're going to recognize this is a relationship that could be pretty fun. Like, they're going to want to deal with you in the future, and like you get it. They recognize that you get it. And so when you do that, then it's going to make your transactions simple.
And here's another pointer is really know what you want, know what you want, and you can tell them, at least they know what you're looking for, and it's easier for them to find what you're looking for. Yeah, it's people that is like undecisive is a no.
Yeah. So yeah, and you know what that comes down to? Just know the formula. Like, don't be talking around this and like, I don't teach y'all to be looking at, oh, I'm looking down by the beach. Like, don't start changing it because you're talking to somebody. Just it's about formula. Formula drives everything. And so you just tell them the general area that you're interested in, period. You tell them the number of rooms typically that you're looking for, 3+. And then at that point, you could teach them formula a little bit if you want, just meaning, like, if it has this many rooms, this is how much I can pay, or this is how much I'm okay paying. I can pay more, but it won't fit. It doesn't fit really my
budget.
Well, I don't even like, you could say budget.
No.
I'm careful though with budget because it makes it sound like you can't afford it. Like, it ain't about not affording, but it doesn't necessarily fit the
equation.
What were you saying?
Criteria?
Yeah, that's a
criteria.
great. It doesn't fit my criteria. Perfect word. Right? It doesn't fit the criteria. So I don't like to use the word budget. Why? Because budget makes it sound like we can't afford it. And I don't care if it's $10,000. If it's formula, we rolling, because that means I'm gonna make more money. Right? So I ain't worried about the money. I ain't worried about the price. I just want to make sure it fits formula. And then just let them know, as long as it's not a war zone. That's it. Let them do the rest of the work. Let them do the rest of the work.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Great question.
And look, like I said, look for the list. Find the property yourself if you can, and then look for the listing agent first. But if you have somebody in the circle that is willing to help you, then ask for their help. Yeah.
Ask for their help. That's good. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, all right. So we're gonna wrap it up. So, quick question: was that helpful for all of y'all?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have a question about location.
Okay, go ahead, Cadet. I'll answer one more question, or have Sang answer one more question.
Does it matter how far from town the Airbnb is? I heard somebody said you don't want to be too far from the airport.
Hold on 1 second, Cadet. I'm gonna say this because I know some people. I told them we're only gonna be a half hour, so I want to just say this before everyone goes. What we're gonna be doing going forward, so lead managers and all the people. So my office hours, I'll be having more people coming in. You guys like this format where we have more people coming in that can offer some value, people that I work with that can help you, people that we work with all over the country, different parts of the world that we've done different things with, that you guys don't really understand some of the behind the scenes, how this stuff looks and works. So would that help if you think that we like help you guys a lot more? You like that format? Okay, cool. All right. So with that, I think tomorrow we're gonna have another one, and tomorrow I'm gonna have one of my financial money mastery guys on tomorrow, and you guys we can have some conversation about money mastery. We'll have him. Some of y'all are already working with him, some of y'all aren't, but we'll have some conversation. And for those of you that are in the challenge and not part of the any of our programs other than the challenge, get your homework done tonight. If you get your homework, I'll give you an invitation. If you don't get your homework done, then you ain't getting no invitation. All right. So go ahead, Cadet. What you got?
Yeah, I said, does it matter how far from town the Airbnb is located? Because I heard somebody said you don't want to be too far from the airport, like maybe 30 minutes from the airport. Because if the person get off, be on the airplane, the person might not don't want to be driving too far. So I just wondering, does it matter really?
I gotta show my face so y'all can see my face.
I can see you. Oh. Yes.
Wait, what part of my training did you hear that in?
No, not you. No, not you, please. It's not you. I just want to does it really matter,
Wait, hold up. I know you paid me to train you, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
I remember you paid me to train you, right? But you getting ready, you talking about some advice did you pay this person that told you that advice? So what? All right. I'm okay. Go ahead. I'm just gonna.
So
go ahead, bro.
Every location is different. You gotta do your homework. So every location is different. But for Florida, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter for Florida. Pretty much the whole state is a vacation state. So you maybe you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere, like 2 hours away, from stores and stuff. As long as there's a Publix 10-15 minutes down the street, you'll be okay. Because if they're looking to travel, they're gonna look for all over the place. So they might be looking for the river this time. They might look for the ocean next time. They might look for the hills next time. So it depends. Like I said, if there's a Publix or there's a Walmart down the street, you'll be okay. Doesn't really matter from the airport.
Because there's somebody who have a house, but he's retired and then go around some community. And then I asked the person and said, no, it might be too far. I don't think people are going to want to go there. So that's why.
So can I just add a little bit to that? Just a little bit? All right. So one of the things you all know is that Airbnb is the largest hospitality company in the world. It's $100 billion company. The other thing so it's bigger than Hyatt, Hilton, Sheraton, Holiday Inn, Marriott, you already know that, right? But do you understand why? Because it doesn't own any property. Do you realize Airbnb owns no property but Hyatt, Hilton, they own all these properties, but Airbnb, and they've been around way longer, but yet Airbnb's bigger. Right? Airbnb is pretty much a baby. They just got started 15 years ago. Right? They just went public 2.5 years ago. So how did they get there? How did they get to be this big? Why am I even mentioning it? Because it has a lot to do with that question that you just asked. The question that you just asked was, what if it's near here, near there, near there? The reason why Airbnb got to be as successful as they are is the same reason that Google and Facebook and YouTube. It is because of what? That $1 billion algorithm, right? That algorithm knows how to reach people, right? When you come on that platform, if you go to Google and you looking at, how many times y'all go on Google you was talking about something to your husband or your wife or your daughter or your son or your friend yesterday. Next thing you know, you look on your phone and then that thing that you were talking about is right there. Like Siri, Siri be listening, right? You know they be listening. So they're not stupid. They know before you even get there, they know what you want better than you know. That's the artificial intelligence at work. And Airbnb, that's what it does. So Airbnb has AI. It has that in their platform. And so when you have a place and you understand how to optimize and play the game the way Airbnb wants you to play it, they're going to send your places out to all the people, not just the people in your town. We don't care about the people in our town. Why? Because people in our town, they can't stay at our places. You can't. If you're a local, don't even inquire because you won't be staying at any of our places. They're not just going to be sending your listings out to people in your city, your state. They're not going to be just sending listings out to the people in your region, in your country. They're going to be sending out to people all over the world, but only people who are interested in staying in your area, potentially in your place. So when you do that properly, if you got a place that's an hour away from the airport, guess what? There are people who want to stay in that place. And it ain't just people locally or someone down the block or in the next state. There's people all over the world. You only need one person to stay. They're reaching out to tens of thousands of people all over the world that want to stay in your place that are traveling. Right? So keep that in mind, that you don't want to think local. You want to think global. And what I look at when it comes to looking at an Airbnb, first thing I look at is who's doing it. Is it being done in this area? Do I see listings? If I already know people are doing it, I know I'm going to do better than they are going to do. If they're already doing it, making money, I know I'm going to do better than them. So as long as I see somebody doing it, now if we get out to a place and ain't nobody doing it, now I might have to rethink it. Doesn't mean I won't, but I might have to rethink it. I'm going to ask the question, why is no one doing it here? Is there some restrictions? That's the first thing I look at. Is there a restriction? Because I know people, if there's a hotel, a hospital, a university in the area, don't need to be an airport. If there's businesses in the area, if there's some sort of a plant or a factory or something in the area, I know people are interested in the area for one reason or another, right? So with that, you don't want to get too caught up in that thing. Just know that if it's anywhere near civilization, you're probably gonna be good, right? You're probably gonna be good. All right. So all right, that was it. Hopefully that was helpful. Was that helpful, Cadet? And Cadet.
Talk to you, sir. I don't know, maybe later.
Yeah, but go get your money from that person that gave you that advice. All right, so all right, peeps. God bless you. We're gonna go grab a quick bite and just hang out for a bit. And then some of y'all I'll be chatting with after saying leaves, because we got some business to handle today. So we got a lot of business. I know we got some people, Shantae and them. We got some things. I don't know, but everybody, Cindy, I know you're getting that stuff done. Oh, Cindy, I don't know if you send me this stuff. You got to send it to me so we can get that application done. But anyway, I'll talk to all of y'all.
I did send you a text. Please.
All right, cool. Awesome.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. God bless you guys.
God bless.
Love you guys.
All right. Thanks for talking with us.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff. See you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Hold on. We're
pretty
still
cool.
live here. Let's end this stream. And hopefully that was helpful on YouTube.